Welcome to bonus experience. That's going to be hard to edit because you're laughing in the middle of it. So I might want to get another. No! How dare you? How dare you laugh when I'm being funny?
All right, if you could stop slaying me for the moment.
Violet, thank you for saying sweet things about me, Violet.
We're in agreement that you are cool and funny.
Thank you. I am cool and funny.
She's a lady of color trying to make her way in the harsh world of tabletop RPGs. So
the Tatterpigs, as they are sometimes called.
They are never called.
Sometimes. Sometimes they're called
by
that.
One person in this conversation.
Yeah, that's 50%. I know math. This is bonus experience.
Yeah.
This is a podcast with a deeper look at the play experience and the finer details of running and writing games.
We are queer women speaking with authority about games.
Yes, we swear. Die mad about it.
Mad about it? Mad about it.
Who are you?
I'm Monica.
I'm Rai.
Hey.
You couldn't see it because this is not a visual medium, but I did like the Spider-Man point. Yo, who are you?
Oh, yeah. I'm Monica, resident industry professional.
I'm Rai.
Power suit.
I'm Rai, the business casual. I'm lawful neutral.
Our topic for tonight is something that you and I have a lot of experience with, and is the first installment into a series we're going to talk about, where we're going to discuss how do you do these things.
Yes, this is our How Do You series.
Yes, we're welcome to new BXP. After a year of getting our shit together, we're going to start doing things in a series format.
Yes, yeah,
and
we're actually going to try to organize it.
Yeah, mostly what that means for you is that nothing. You're just going to get BXP episodes on the reg like you always do.
Yeah, it's not any. Yeah. It's mostly on our end. This is all host facing.
Yeah. So what we're gonna? Did I already say we're talking about running games online?
We're talking about running games online.
We are talking about running games online.
Kind of how we met, sort of.
Yes, it is definitive. I mean, it's some of how we met.
We met on the forum, but we got to know each other by running games online.
Right. I met you because you had your AIM screen name on your webcomic. And I am one of those crazy people who was willing to message you.
Yeah, I did get a lot of crazy messages. It's true.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm just a friendly person and not
a crazy person.
Not a creeper.
Yes, crazy but friendly. Crazy and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So, running games online.
All right.
How is this the most convenient yet inconvenient thing?
I mean, you can game with friends anywhere in the world. But schedules. Especially if you're doing that, like, friends internationally thing, and, like, one of you is in England, and one of you is in New York, and one of you is in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And one of you is in Japan, and all of you are trying to figure out what magical time of day can all four of you in four very different time zones, one on the other side of the international date line, can you all meet and be online at the same time?
Stupid. Just it's a nightmare. But scheduling, I mean, that's nothing new. Like a table game, it's hard to schedule that way too.
Yeah, but when you're scheduling a table game, all of you at least live probably in the same time zone.
True. You don't have to do that magic time math. One of the other good things about online gaming, you don't need any fancy equipment or programs to get started. Back in my day, we did it on all that free shit, like IRC and AIM, like you mentioned, which has been dead now for about 2 years. It's been cold and dead in the ground for 2 whole years.
Dead for real.
AIM was like it, man. That was
pour one out.
That was like before Facebook,
Yeah.
before even MySpace. It was like that's how you interacted with everyone.
Yep.
That was it.
Everyone had an AOL Messenger name.
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
pour one out for AIM.
Moment of silence.
Okay. And then AIM's weird cousin IRC.
Yeah, IRC. I mean, it's been around for way longer than AIM,
Way
and it's
longer than
still
AIM.
around. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's weird. It was never really accessible. But I mean, it's all we got now. So no, that's not true because we also have
That's
Discord.
yeah, we have Discord, we have Slack.
We have.
Uh
We'll get into like all the different venues, but
yeah.
the
I
takeaway from
mean,
this: you don't need anything fancy. You don't need to even pay for a Roll20 subscription if you're looking into that. You just need a text chat. Like that's it.
yeah. I mean, I guess you could do it even on Facebook Messenger.
Oh shit,
Facebook
you could,
Messenger
but
is really
then
the new AIM.
yeah, but I hate it.
Mhm. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. So I also want to talk about audience energy, because I find it super hard to get audience energy from a voice call. And I guess I better define what I mean by audience energy, which is like the emotional feedback you get from being face to face with people and then realizing that they are like enjoying the thing you're putting out.
Yep.
It's a
Yeah.
very performer thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do find that video helps, but only a little. When I'm trying to run a game online, which interestingly is not the case when I run via text, and maybe that's because I grew up doing text communication all the time.
Yeah, that was like as we discussed, that was like it for us. It was text chat, text games. And I mean I was, I've run VoIP,
Voip,
VoIP, VoIP.
voip.
Today's beverage is lime flavored LaCroix.
Oh, mine
Just
is
lime, not key lime.
raspberry Weiss brand seltzer.
Yes. I've run both VoIP and text games online, and I personally I cannot keep the same level of energy over a voice call. I don't I it's for some reason it really just drags on for me and I can't, and I think it has a lot to do with what you said with it's harder to get that feedback of are they really into this? Are they like enjoying themselves? For some reason when you switch to text, it's like a completely different social interaction and it's easier for me to get into. That could also just be
Mhm.
because of my background as a writer too.
Yeah, I definitely find that being a writer really helps convey stuff via text. I actually was having a discussion with a friend about how much I like running via text, and he was like, "Oh man, as an introvert, how do you people?" And I was like, "Well, you can convey all that expression with your words,
Yeah.
which does require some skill with words."
Yes. Yeah, you got to have
Yes.
some sort of, reading and writing comprehension.
Yeah. Um and like I think you also have to enjoy reading
Mhm.
to get something out of it because if you have a dedicated text chat channel that's like just this is the game in which the game part happens and you keep all your out of character stuff and questions and roles in another channel, um the final product is way more story like than you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's I still have like really old logs from text games and sometimes it's fun just to go back and read it like a narrative. Because it's almost like a collaborative novel at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
the takeaway from this with both of our experiences is probably just know your own limitations and your own preferences. If you're cool with performing with only voice, then you go with doing a voice chat game. If you absolutely need to see their faces, then it's like okay, this is going to be voice and video. If you are if you have a strong writing background, maybe you want to run it just with text. This is just it's going to
Yeah.
be from person to person.
Mm-hmm. So
So,
that brings
so
us to like some of the best online gaming practices.
right, what to
um
do, what not to do,
Yeah, I
tips
mean,
and
I
tricks.
think the best thing to do is to just try to keep the game going. Meet regularly when at all possible, because it's really, really easy to lose steam when you play games online.
Yes, absolutely it is. It's so much easier for me, especially when I already have a kind of a flighty I already have a very short attention span when it comes to games and game concepts.
Mhm.
If a game makes it past 3 sessions for me, its chances of survival increase by like 75%. It's crazy. And also be much more prepared for what to do if you're like missing a player or two. I personally am super guilty of calling game when missing a player, and that doesn't do our momentum any favors at all. Like,
Yeah.
oops, one person of the four of you can't make it. Guess we go another week without game. It's not gonna help.
Yeah, no, I would definitely recommend keep continuing to go if you're down one person. Like if two people would put you down half your game, okay, that's that's missing a night. But if only one person is missing, keep going if you can. Because the benefit, especially of doing something like via text, is that that person can just sign in and read it.
Yep. Yeah,
Or
there's a
you can
handy
post
dandy
a
log of
log.
what happened.
Yep. Yeah, they're not going to be totally lost. They can just read up on it in their free time between your whenever you meet next. You should also know that online games via text run at about 1/3 the speed of face-to-face games, so bear that in mind when you're doling out XP. You might actually want to not hand out XP for, like 3 sessions instead of every single one.
Or do milestone, or
Yeah.
as needed.
Yeah. I mean, I at this point just prefer to do milestone progression in every game, even if the game doesn't come with it. I will add it in if the game doesn't come with it.
Also keep in mind the not just for experience, but like for pacing in general. If you think combat is going to slow things up in a table game, oh my god, just wait until everyone has to type their actions. Especially in games like Exalted, where you get bonuses for doing a really cool action. So they sit and they
Oh
think about,
man.
what am I going to stunt, and then they type the whole fucking stunt, and it's like, it's yeah.
Yep, we
Plan
used to
ahead
have
for the fact that your game is going to move slower. You won't
yeah,
cover
we
as
used
much
to have to
ground.
implement the typing rule.
The typing rule.
Yeah, where in the add a character chat, if you were playing in an Exalted game and you had a big stunt in mind, you had to
Oh, right.
post in the OOC chat typing.
Yeah, you have to flag everyone like, I am writing my stunt.
Right.
Or hang on, stunt incoming.
Because like if it'll take you 10 minutes to write the whole goddamn paragraph, the GM might move on.
Yep. I
Or
got in
think
the
you've
habit of
disconnected.
as other people were writing out what they were doing, I would be
Mhm.
outlining my next action. So that by the time it got to me, I could just copy paste it from Notepad or whatever. Like, here it is, like, bow. Here's my
Nice.
paragraph stunt. Also, while we're on the topic of typing and being ready and being fast, keep
Mhm.
everyone's text communication speed in mind. This is super important. I'm a fast reader and I'm also a ridiculously fast typist. Like, I've got a words per minute of 120 last I checked.
Damn.
40 is most people's top. Like, most people, the fastest they will ever get is still a third as fast as I am. So that's not a brag. That's, keep in mind that everybody's going to be writing, at different speeds. Everyone's going to be reading at different speeds. If you notice someone hasn't been able to get a word in edgewise in your text game, slow the game up. Give them a chance to actually, like, play.
Yeah, also, holy shit, I thought I was fast at 80.
I have a lot of practice.
Which, like, okay, I am fast at 80, which is twice as fast as most people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Just
yeah.
know everybody brings a different speed to the table.
Right.
The
Also, remember how we
table.
talked about that one time you were talking about the scene that we were role playing back and forth, and it was just rapid fire.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. And now I know why.
Yeah. Two words a second. Yeah. Yeah. Also, like your average table game, you're going to need to find the equilibrium for how many bells and whistles to employ in your virtual game. Like, I've played Fate games on Roll20, so there's elaborate visuals to show aspects and zones, and there's a streaming soundtrack in the background. But I've also played Exalted games that are like heavily cinematic with nothing but IRC text. Not one is not inherently worse or better than the other. It just is going to depend on what your game and what your players require.
Yeah, I played a D&D 4th edition game, which is not a game you should ever play online. Let me just put that out there right now, because it's really dependent on having visuals. Like, you need a
Yeah,
map.
you need
It,
shared images.
yeah, you need shared images. You need a map. You need distances. It's actually really kind of a huge pain in the ass to do all that abstractly, and we had to plug into a virtual table. This was also many years ago, so it was before Tabletop Simulator existed, and now I would fucking love to play it on Tabletop Simulator. Holy shit, it'd be
Oh,
great on
that
there.
would be I would love to play a 4E game you ran on Tabletop Simulator.
All right,
Just
well,
file that away.
All right, we'll file that away. Maybe that may have to be some actual play.
That may have to be something we do.
Yeah.
We've also touched on this a little bit. Unlike a table game, at least in my experience with table games, you'll need to decide how to handle table talk and out of character chat in your text-based game, because it can derail it much faster, because it's you're reading it and you'll see like one line of actual, like my drow hunter draws her 2 scimitars and charges into battle, and then you'll see just 7 paragraphs of out of character, like making fun of somebody's wiener. I don't know what.
Somebody
I
said a
don't know.
meme, and now the whole out of character chat is derailed.
Yes. So you need to decide how to deal with table talk and out of character chat to make sure that your game chat stays nice and clean and everyone can stay on topic in the game. Especially, like, as we've said, online games are going to move about 30% of the actual. It's going to move like a third fast. It's going to move slower. It's going to move slower. The most common is to just delineate out of character text using double brackets, double parentheses. But in places like IRC or Discord, you can have a separate room just solely devoted to out of character chatter. So you can just keep it completely off of your game feed.
Yeah, that's what I do, as I touched on a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And that's also fun too for like if your players are freaking out of character about what's happening in character, you can move back and forth between the 2 rooms of like, oh, so-and-so's very stoic diplomat is, bowing to the Fey Lord, and oh, of course these terms are adequate. And then in the other like out of character game, they're like, oh my god, we're fucking dead! You can't do this! Oh my god!
The pinned message in the Discord channel I created for my Through the Breach game, because I had to run a session of it online, which I will talk about later, says, here's where you should ask game and rules questions like, do I notice Lady Justice in the crowd? Or what's the TN to seduce all the Valerian Quellers? Or how much damage do I take from getting punched in the face? You should also make sure you're checking this channel, because I'll also be posting calls for flips like make a notice flip or flip initiative. It's also a place to ask for clarification about what your character's abilities and talents do.
That's good. I like that. Just keep everything that's not narrative and dialogue in a completely different room.
Yep.
Speaking of being in a completely different room,
I think it's time for the mid-episode break.
It's time for the break. Lime. Bonus experience. BXP and the mid-episode break room are brought to you by Misdirected Mark Network.
Ding. We really need to give a huge shout out to let me try that again. We really need to give a huge shout out to our artist and graphic designer, Nito Studios. She's designed our logo, our banner, our t-shirt art, and does absolutely incredible work. If you are also a professional looking for a graphic designer, please look up Nito Studios and hire her and tell her BXP sent you. She could both use the money, and she does really phenomenal work quickly.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, and she's awesome to work with too. Like,
yes,
everything that we've come to her for design work, she's fucking knocked it out of the park. That's Neno, Nino Studios.
Yes, I know it sounds like it should be spelled with an I, but it is not.
It is not. This is important. Please go to her.
Yes.
Hey!
You
should become a BXP patron.
Yes, you should.
Because even $1 a month will get you access to our outline and pre-pro notes. You'll get access to polls for new content, merch, and bonus material, like ideas we might have. And you'll get access to the bonus experience, which is our off-topic podcast. That's just for $1 a month, man. We have all sorts of extra tiers on there for cool stuff. Like if you want to have access to Monica's Spotify playlists for her gaming background music, or if you want to have a shout out and a thank you on one episode a month, or all the way up to, oh man, this one's crazy. I can't believe you included this one. All the way up to game consultations from Monica and Rai. That's me. I'm Rai. You get 2 of them at the top tier. That's crazy, though.
It is pretty crazy.
Like, people pay us for that stuff. And we're just going to give it to a patron? 2 patrons?
If someone's willing to spend that much money on it, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. They're paying a lot of money for that.
Yeah. It would be really cool. Also, if you would rather support BXP without committing to the monthly payments on Patreon, that is still totally cool. You can still buy us a coffee. You can still buy our stuff, including products made by our guests. You can also check out our brand new merch page. T-shirts, mugs, phone cases, graph paper notebooks. Treat yourself. Support us. Give us money.
bxpcast.com/BXP swag.
Thank you. Okay, I think I'm done talking now. I think I'm
Okay,
done
hey, and if you...
shelling out.
All right, should I shell out for somebody else?
Yes. How about
Cut to the Chase, which is a short-form tabletop RPG for 2 players. The players collaborate as hunter and prey to tell a thrilling story of a chase. The Kickstarter starts on March 12th, which you may note on your calendar has already started, so go out and find it, and it goes until April 5th, so you have plenty of time to get some funds together and support this incredible project. There are 15 RPG creators writing diverse scenarios for the games, and I've taken a look at that list, and boy, is that a hell of a star-studded list. That is awesome. You should definitely go check it out. Take a look at it. Support this game. It's got a really cool, unique idea. You can find it, search Kickstarter for Cut to the Chase. We're going to have a link to that in the show notes. Check it out, fund it, support it, help support this artist. And if you would like the Misdirected Mark Network to also shout out your game, you can shoot an email to chris@misdirectedmark.com. Make sure that you put advertising on MMP in the subject line, and take a look at the misdirectedmark.com website and find our advertising rates. If that appeals to you, you can have your show shouted out as well.
We should probably talk about another network show, though.
Yeah, if you love BXP, you'll definitely like this other Misdirected Mark show, Down with D&D, since we were just talking about D&D. I bet they liked 4th edition too. Anyway,
we should ask them
Chris
about it.
We should. I bet Chris and I... Anyway, Chris and the Mad Wizard Sean Merwin dish about everything D&D with a focus on the brand and the newest edition of the world's most popular tabletop RPG. Also, we're in the right place because Misdirected Mark is the name of a 4th edition power. So,
there you go. Chris and you and Chris have very similar opinions on things.
Yes, we do. And we've actually talked about doing a Monica and Chris's opinions about things sideshow.
The Monica show.
The Monica Chris show. Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds terrible. You should absolutely name it that.
Boy. And now back to our regularly scheduled disaster.
All right, break over. Hey, Monica.
What?
Hey, Monica.
What?
What's your preferred method of gaming online?
I always feel more comfortable running a game over text. I mean, we sort of expounded on how much we love playing on text earlier. And I like using stuff like Discord, IRC, because I am old. But I don't mind playing a game over VoIP.
VoIP?
VoIP.
I'm a text baby first and last. While planning for this episode, it actually made me super nostalgic for all the old school text only stuff. I really miss the AIM days, and I even miss using IRC. And it's making me wonder if I shouldn't try to get a Discord text game going, try to recapture that feel.
I mean, hey, here's a funny joke. You got a free night?
Funny for who?
Yeah, for me, because I don't have a free night either. Because I really want to run through the breach for you.
How do you do that? I need cards, don't I?
Yeah, you need a
I want that tactile experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's an easy conversion for the unique suits for card day. We can talk about this after the show.
Okay.
But I would really like to run that over Discord text, so maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I also ran it for my group recently online, and I realized that I really like this text thing because I have a moment to think about what I'm saying rather than give into my impulses. I don't have to think with my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also in the process of doing that, I also turned one of my local friends on to playing via text. And now anytime there's a threat of snow, she's like, "Oh, haha, I guess we'll have to just play on Discord then."
Oh, darn. Oh, shucks. Guess it's a text game tonight. Oh, no. All right. Well, we kind of hung a lampshade on this earlier, so we should probably get to this at the tail end of the episode here. Okay. Resources, getting started with your online game. What should you use? Where should you go? The big name At least for me on my side is Roll20,
Oh yeah,
which is a tabletop simulator that isn't tabletop simulator.
tabletop simulator. Yeah.
It's got a text chat. It's got support for voice and video chat. I think it also plugs right into Hangouts. There's a shared visual space where you can put your maps, you can put your Fate aspect cards, you can pop up, pictures of NPCs and handouts. There's shared audio, there's support for character sheets, there's dice rolling macros that can be as simple or complicated as you want. Roll20 is really handy, but it's got a lot of bells and whistles, and it's really easy to get distracted and bogged down in it. So I'm still not really sure how I feel about Roll20.
I mean, I think Roll20 is an extremely useful tool. You just have to know how to use it.
Yeah, you got to spend some
Yeah.
time with it.
Yeah, you do have to spend some time with it.
And then there's Discord, which we've been
and
talking
then there's
about.
Discord. We've
Yeah.
just been singing the praises of.
Anyone can make a fucking Discord now. It's the best. Discord is great.
Yeah, and there's dice roller bots that you can get to invite in your channel. You can also create a voice channel and then invite basically like a DJ bot and give yourself and people permissions to control it. And then people can sign into the voice channel, mute themselves, and just listen to a playlist you have playing.
That's really cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Discord, man. Discord's amazing. If you're resistant to Discord for whatever reason, there's also Google Hangouts. If you've got to do voice video, the Google Hangouts probably a really good way to go.
I mean, Skype is a classic too if you're going to do voice video.
Yeah, Skype gets shit on a lot though. It's had its ups and downs.
It does, but if it's a thing that everybody has, it does voice, it does video, and it does text. So there you go.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's right up there with Facebook Messenger as far as things that are not great, but you could use.
Yeah. For IRC, I used Mibit for a really long time to do browser-based IRC chat. Is Mibit still good? I don't know.
It's been 20 years since I last used IRC. But I checked before we recorded, and Mibit still exists.
All right, there you go.
Firefox used to have a plugin called Chatzilla, which for the longest time was my go-to.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Chatzilla's pretty good too. But I think IRC you have to have a little bit of pre-setup. Like you need to be able to like make channels and shit.
IRC, like so Discord is basically user-friendly IRC.
Yeah.
Without like with extra bells and whistles. Like you definitely can't do a voice channel where you have a YouTube stream constantly playing.
If you're like us and it's been forever since you used IRC, or you're at the age where you're like, what the fuck is IRC? Just use Discord. Just use Discord.
Yeah, just use Discord.
It's that simple.
Yeah, and Discord will also let you make like private rooms and stuff too.
Yeah, Discord's pretty good. There's all sorts of, if you don't want to fuck around with dice roller bots and you're not sure like if your friends even have dice or you need something, whatever. There's more dice rollers online than really you can just fucking Google dice roller. I think you can even just Google roll a d20 and Google will pick a random number between 1 and 20 for you. If you're worried that your friends might cheat though and you want a log, there's rolldicewithfriends.com, which you can create like a private dice rolling room basically where it just keeps track of every roll that's been made. So you can't be like, you've been rolling over 17 a lot this, you could just check and see if Sammy really did get 2 19s in a roll.
I mean, maybe play with people who don't cheat though,
or just let it go. It's just a game.
I mean like if you like a log just for accounting purposes, I guess that's fine, but I'm like, if you're concerned about your players cheating, find some new players. That's a different problem.
That's a different episode. Problem and a different show.
Yep. Okay. On that note,
out of LaCroix, so the episode is over.
Okay.
Hey. Where can they find the show?
They can find it at bxpcast.com, part of the Misdirected Mark Network.
Bing! Where can they email the show?
They can email the show at bonusexpcast@gmail.com, and the mysterious program manager will answer them.
That's right. We have a mysterious program manager now.
Yeah.
She's so mysterious that we haven't named her. Or she's so mysterious we don't know her name.
Yeah.
This
a non-binary sense of fear. Anyway.
Program manager of a mysterious and indistinct gender.
Gender.
Hey, how do they tweet at us?
They can tweet at us at bonusexpcast.
Yeah.
And what if they want to tweet at you?
Oh, at me? That's
you.
Ray_Cole.
And if they want to tweet at me, that's at Zenith Sun.
Yeah. Also, fucking go to our Patreon.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a Patreon. Can you believe it?
Is this going to come out in time for that? I mean,
I just talked about how we have like a Patreon.
Yeah.
So, hey, go to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/bonusexperience.
Yeah, give us some money.
Or like look at it and think about maybe giving us some money, whatever. It's cool. I think that's it.
All right.
Everybody get out.
Let's go.
Change it if you want to.
Change it if you want to.
Change it if you want to.
Cue music.
Change it if you want to.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bonus Experience is written and produced by Monica and Rai. Our cover art and logo are by Nino Studios, and our opening theme is Reuse Noise with the Light by CDK, which is used under the Attribution Non-Commercial Creative Commons license. This podcast guarantees +1 enhancement to running games, which applies before you roll. See you next time.